We're going to be talking about VMware high availability clusters and ways that you can protect SQL Server on VMware and maintain the flexibility that virtualization offers you. So the agenda, I'm going to squeeze all this into 30 minutes, so hold on to your seats. We're going to talk about VMware HA. We're going to talk about VMware FT, or fault tolerance, and then SQL Server always-on availability groups, SQL Server always-on failover cluster instances, and then finally SQL Server SANless clustering. So VMware high availability, or HA for short, that's probably the de facto standard when you're doing any kind of virtualization of VMware. Most likely you're going to enable VMware HA, which is a great solution for host failure. So if you have a hardware failure of your hypervisor, what happens is all the VMs running on that hypervisor will be automatically restarted on another hypervisor in your VMware HA cluster. And so that requires that they start from a cold reboot. So the downtime is going to be the amount of time it takes to restart that cluster on another node. But what happens if you have a failure of the guest? So if your VM itself becomes unresponsive, the VMware HA will also detect that and will restart the VM in place. So it does do a little bit of monitoring of the virtual machine itself. If you want to get into the application and monitor what's going on with your application, just VMware HA alone will not detect application level failures. You have to extend VMware HA with App HA, which is an additional feature that you can enable in VMware HA clustering that will look at the application. So that the application fails, there's a few things that can happen. First, you can configure the application to restart. So simple restart to service, bring things back online, or you can choose to just do an old reboot. So reset the VM and hope that things come back online. Also trigger a vCenter alarm to pop up in your vCenter, or send an email notification that your application is having issues that you might want to check out. It's not quite as in-depth of application monitoring that you might expect from, like, say, Microsoft Failover clustering, but there's a rudimentary check and a rudimentary recovery of simply restarting the application or rebooting the VM. So it gives you some level of application awareness and recovery, but not quite as extensive as a true application HA solution.